Another one that we also started this year is on social media. As you all know, this is the age of social and mobile media. And to give away this award, which has been supported by Facebook also, I must thank Karuna Nain from Facebook for supporting this award, which is the best use of social media in South Asia. To give away this award, I want to ask PK Roy to come up on stage. Prashanta Kumar Roy. There he is. He needs no introduction, but for those of you who are not from this sector, I must tell you that he's one of the most respected journalists in the Indian IT space. He's been covering it since the 80s, 70s, something like that, and 60s, yeah. And he's the authority on any new trend coming out of India in terms of adoption of ICTs, their creators, so on and so forth. So, PK, why don't you say a little bit about the award and the winners and so on?
Okay, thanks very much, Madan. I think, it doesn't need reiterating how deep an impact social media has made, both in terms of depth, spread. I mean, there's so many anecdotes, so many things which came up, it's difficult to, even relate them up on an example basis. But, just three quick things I wanted to say. One is we've seen so many cases of things, going viral. And a very few of those are, of course, today things which pick up from the work NGOs are doing and so on. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Streisand effect, which says that you try to suppress anything on social media and it explodes. I mean, for example, we had this case of one young man in Pondicherry who tweeted something. Somebody else didn't like it and slapped a Section 66A case on him. He started with 16 followers, went on to 2,400, 24 hours later on Twitter, and reached about 10 million people through national television over the next 2 days. That was the first anecdote. Second, when I travel sometimes on the Delhi metro, which is actually pretty cool, it's not as infra-dig as saying I travel by DTC bus, but you get to observe a lot of stuff, and one of them I observe is how much time the people who are standing there in the crowded space spend on their phones. And I'm interested in phones, so I ask a lot about what they buy. And one thing I find is that they're all, whatever the range, they start from feature phones, etc., but most of them are running Facebook and maybe one or two other things, but usually Facebook, and they're Facebooking away when they're, in that crowded space. The third anecdote, and I used this in the social media session earlier, was that, in my days in college, some 20, 25 years ago, when you wanted to fundraise to sponsor for a festival or whatever, you went around asking for sponsorship. Now, of course, for the last 4 or 5 years, it's all been on social media. You put up on Facebook saying that, we've got this debate, whatever. Now, we saw this in my college group, which is the same college shared by both Mr. Khurshid and Mr. Habibullah. We found that, there's been a bit of Facebook wariness or whatever. People are getting tired of people posting up things and saying, please sponsor our debate, please sponsor the Mukherjee Memorial debate, whatever. So what somebody did recently was quite brilliant. He created a little video. Actually, he didn't create. He took a video clip, which was from a war movie. It showed Hitler planning something. He supered those with English subtitles. Unfortunately, he presented the college principal as Hitler, which I think was a little unfair, but it was also hilarious. In 24 hours, that went totally viral across all the Stephanian groups, and he raised 2 lakhs in 48 hours for the Mukherjee Memorial debate. So, clearly today, social media is a sine qua non, and we found in each of these examples, if an NGO or somebody were able to write this and use it for fundraising in the same way and tap into this talent. And we spent a lot of time really debating and discussing this in the social media summit panel today on how NGOs could actually tap this. So I'm going to get straight on to the award categories and finalists, and since there's no film, what I'm going to just do is, oh, there is a film? Okay. All right, could we get on to the film straight away then? Terrific. And what I would like to do is actually spend a little bit of time, maybe just about 2 minutes, to quickly run through the finalists. And I think that shows you the enormous spread and depth of what they have used for social media. So these are in no particular order. They are actually, I think, in the order they were presented. These are not the winners, these are finalists. But it's really quite amazing. So for example, we have the Chinna Early Education Web, which is programming on rural media literacy. They're using first of all, they're creating lovely little films, which they're getting the children themselves to create, and they're very low cost, they're low budget, they're drawings on paper, which are animation. We had the Wild Blossoms project, which is the first internet girls band, where the band members are not in the same country, they haven't met each other, but they collaborate over the internet, they distribute over the internet. We had Chai with Lakshmi, which is the first online talk show, which is, completely online. It's a video talk show, professionally produced, which shares positive, hopeful, inspiring stories. And it's the first one of these completely on the web in India. We had Dehradun Football, which is a website which is pulling together a lot of information about the football teams and clubs in Dehradun and helping them reach out to to tournaments, to potential sponsors. Worldo.com, kids platform. It allows privileged kids to help underprivileged kids. Go UNESCO Travel Challenge, which is making World Heritage sites fun. It started with the idea of the World Heritage Site ticket, and a lot of people realize that we haven't seen any of these World Heritage sites. So each one you go to, you get a star, and so on. Flats Without Broker, and many of these are individual efforts completely run by individuals in their spare time. They have a day job, they come back at night and do this. Flats Without Broker, letting people buy, sell, rent flats, apartments, no brokers involved, no fees, totally free. Supreme Court judgments, SC judgments, free access to judgments delivered by the Supreme Court, and enormous usage of that because there was really a need for putting up all these judgments and discussions and comments on that online. Safe City, so this is, it's an online platform to share information on sexual harassment and sexual abuse from across India. And that's a very key issue, which is really taken over the public imagination on specific events. But a site like this is trying to systematically gather this information and then able to do something constructive on it. Seva Mob, transforming the delivery of primary health care. India Politics, a tool, an app, which is giving information on politics, on the elections right now. Online application for registration of private warehouses, which is a Madhya Pradesh initiative to bring in private warehouses into the scheme of things and consolidate their capacities. Let Me Know, breaking the information barrier among the Indian youth. Human Welfare Association, Mahila Shakti, quite an amazing example, and you'll see some of their work in the stalls outside, and they've really tried to empower these women and reach out directly from the work that they're doing and to sell directly to end consumers. Cry Click Rights, which is they're running photo campaigns soliciting photographs of situations of potential child abuse. We had Vidya Poshak, empowering educational community and providing financial assistance to students for higher education. And a lot of students didn't know that, apparently a lot of professors don't know, a lot of colleges don't know that, these interest-free loans are available and a bank has to provide it without securities. So they're doing a great job in doing that. The Seven Sisters Project, Northeast First mobile phone-based citizen media project. You know that news is highly controlled as far as radio is concerned. So radio, you can't really use for disseminating news. So several organizations have actually gotten around that by using the mobile phone and mobile phone servers in fairly brilliant ways. Fifth pillar, to enable and empower every citizen to seek transparency and accountability. People's movement to help drought-affected areas, that needs no explanation. ComputerSeekho.com, again an individual initiative to use Hindi to, in the Hindi language to, and other languages to actually, get across computer training on the phone. Athenos Digital Marketing, we saw that Olympic Gold Quest, that campaign. Youth Ki Awaaz, which is a very, very influential online and mobile platform for young people. Kisan Kerala, YouTube Agri Video Channel. Uh, I don't know if I have left out any. I've tried to include all of them, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the spread and span of projects which are using social media, and their social empowerment projects, and they're using social media to reach out to, and some of them are very small numbers. You know, you might look at that and say, oh, this guy's got just 600 or 1600 likes. But imagine the context in which he's coming from and the place that he's working. It's quite amazing. So I'm going to, at this point, could I request the jury members to join me on stage so that you can welcome them with a round of applause and they can join us for the group photograph? Who all do we have? I can see Shu rising up. Shu. Do we have the other jury members here? I see, okay, come on. So we've got 2 of the 7 jury members present here. So I hope maybe if anybody sees them around, please just send them over. Thank you very much. And could I ask Karuna from Facebook to join us to help me read out? And could I ask Mr. Habibullah to please come up and give away these awards as Karuna reads them out? Hi, Mr. Habibullah. Good to see you, sir. Okay, Karuna. So we have 3 awards, three main awards and 2 special mentions. You know, we really we spent a long time over this because we had what was almost a hung jury, in the sense that we had about you know, well, we had some 8 or 9 or 10 people who were at the same level of points, because they were brilliant projects, and depending on how you looked at it, you said, okay, this is great on the ground, but are they using social media? So we had to finally apply very harsh parameters to say that, okay, we are going to you know, give this one slightly higher points because of the sheer innovation in the use of social media, or the sheer uniqueness in the project, or the broad impact. There's a lot of content there, but you know, is there enough social empowerment impact? So it really got down to these, and we finally picked 3 and 2 special mentions. So should we start with the special mentions first? And when we call up the winners, please come up, take your prize, and please join us on stage for a photograph after this. Just stay on stage, please. So Karuna, the first special mention, and these are in no particular order, so we're going to the special mentions first.
The People's Movement for Drought.
So you have the names. So we have Santosh Boharde and Jaideep Pathor. Okay, the other special mention, Karuna, the second special mention, again, no particular order.
Vidya Poshak.
So Venkateshan from Vidya Poshak, who's been up here earlier, I think, to take other awards. Congrats, please stay up on stage. And we now move on to the main awards. These are, although we listed them, I think they're in no particular order, right? So these are the 3 awards, so we're going to just run through them in succession.
Mahila Shakti Human Welfare Association. Dr. Rajnikant and team.
So these folks really had a very passionate presentation across Hindi and English. And for these ladies, for one of them, it was their first train journey ever to Delhi. And for both of them, it was the first time on a mic. So the first PowerPoint presentation ever made by them, the first mic, on stage presentation, the first train journey, and of course, brilliant work. And they're in the stall here. Do check out their work. Okay, the next one.
The Chin Early Education Web Channel, Meenakshi and Vinay Rai.
So Chin, do we have Meenakshi and Vinay Rai here? Okay, they're not in. In case they come back, maybe we can bring them in. Otherwise, actually, I love collecting these leftover awards. So the tablets or phones, I think they're tablets that they're getting. People, I'm a gadget collector, and my favorite source is these. All the leftover awards from people who do not collect, I get them. But they've done some brilliant work, and I mentioned that very briefly in putting these films together, helping kids create these little cartoon films, and those films have been going viral. The kids get involved in that whole process, and it's really, really quite brilliant. And
last but not least, we'd like to call Youth Ki Awaaz Anshul Tiwari.
So this is really, I think it's a case study in social media use. Started with a blog where he wanted to just amplify his own voice, and it started small, and then it really just shot up in terms of page views, likes, and today it's really one of the more influential of media outlets, counting both mainstream and social media. And he's still pretty young, so a long way to go. Okay, that's it. I think we could just have a group photograph with all of us. Osama, could you join us, please? Did any of the other jury members who were not here, are they in the hall now? Okay, so we had about 4 others who are not here right now. Thank you very much. One word. Yes, please. Actually, yeah, please, I haven't asked the winners to speak. Please go ahead and...
महिला शक्ति जिंदाबाद महिला शक्ति जिंदाबाद इधर नहीं कर रही
Super. Could I just ask all of you?
ये अवार्ड हमारे महाराष्ट्र के सुखा पीड़ितों के लिए अर्पण करते हैं हम।
It's Manthanful, Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are truly honored.
There you are. Youth Ki Awaaz, we can't leave your Awaaz silent.
Actually, I'm quite thrilled out of words, but thank you so much, everyone.
So finally, the 2 jury members present, anything amazing you noted about this project? Just one sentence.
Yeah, Osama ordered us, so we had to be listening to all these 25 great work. But what I say that at the end of the day, it was tiring, but we came back with so much hope, so much energy, so much happening in this country. We're filled with so much hope. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think it was a lot of learning for us to sit through the presentations. I mean, I at least personally, I was very surprised with the kind of work that's being done, and it was more of learning and more of knowledge, for me personally. I think fantastic work, and I think great initiative, because I don't think any other platform actually would bring this kind of work out. So it would be, I think, almost close to impossible to get to know of these things.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. As jury chair, I can say, it was, of course, it was overwhelming. 25 presentations, one after the other, no loo breaks, no coffee breaks, no loo breaks. We wanted to do it, but amazing learning about the use of social media in these projects. Terrific work, Osama.